How do we find inner peace in a world of chaos? Is it hidden in the silence of a forest, buried deep in meditation, or something we achieve only after years of devotion? One disciple thought he had the answer, only to discover that true peace lies in a place far closer than he ever imagined. In the heart of a bustling city, where the noise of traffic and the hum of daily life never ceased, there lived a Zen master named Ryoshi. His reputation for wisdom and serenity attracted disciples from far and wide, all seeking the elusive gift of inner peace. Many came to sit in his presence, hoping his calm aura would rub off on them. They listened to his words, followed his teachings, and practiced meditation, yet few truly grasped the secret of peace. One such disciple, a young man named Yuto, had been under Master Ryoshi's guidance for 3 years. Yuto, though dedicated, was restless. He woke each morning before dawn, meditated, studied the sutras, and performed every task Ryoshi assigned with precision. Yet peace seemed like a distant dream, always just out of reach. One evening, after a long day of chores and reflection, Yuto approached his master. "Master Ryoshi," he said, his voice full of desperation, "I have followed every teaching, meditated every day, but still, my mind is like a raging river. I seek peace, yet it eludes me. What am I doing wrong?" Master Ryoshi gazed at him with soft, wise eyes and asked, "Yuto, what do you imagine peace to be?" Yuto hesitated.
"I believe it's a state where my thoughts are still, where I feel no turmoil, only serenity." Ryoshi nodded slowly, his face unreadable. "Tomorrow, I have a task for you. Travel to the top of Mount Keiko and bring me back a single feather from the phoenix that lives there." Yuto's eyes widened. He had heard the legends of the phoenix that lived atop Mount Keiko, a bird of flame and rebirth, so elusive that no one had ever seen it, let alone captured a feather. But Yuto was determined. If this was the task that would lead him to inner peace, he would undertake it, no matter the difficulty. The next morning, Yuto set out on his journey. The mountain loomed in the distance, its peak hidden by swirling clouds. As he hiked, the landscape became more rugged, the path narrower and the air thinner. But Yuto pressed on, driven by the hope that the phoenix feather would be the key to unlocking the peace he so desperately sought. After 3 grueling days of climbing, Yuto reached the summit. The view was breathtaking. The sky stretched endlessly, the world below seemed small and distant, and the wind was cool and pure. But there was no sign of the phoenix, not a feather, not a sound, just the whisper of the wind through the rocks. Exhausted and disheartened, Yuto sat down and closed his eyes, listening to the silence. His mind, as usual, was a torrent of thoughts, frustration, doubt, exhaustion. He began to question everything, his quest, his master's teachings, even his own worthiness. As he sat, consumed by these thoughts, he heard a soft voice behind him. "Why do you seek the phoenix feather?" Yuto turned and saw an old man, dressed in simple robes, standing a few feet away. His face was weathered, but his eyes gleamed with a strange, gentle wisdom. "I seek it to find peace," Yuto replied. "My master sent me here, believing it would help me." The old man smiled faintly. "And what makes you think the phoenix feather will bring you peace?" Yuto frowned. "Isn't it the key? My master wouldn't have sent me on this journey for nothing." The old man's smile widened. "Perhaps the journey is not about the feather at all." Yuto felt a surge of irritation. "Then what is the point? I have climbed this mountain, struggled through every challenge, and now you're telling me there is no phoenix feather?" The old man sat beside him, his movements slow and deliberate. "You are searching for peace as though it is something to be captured, something outside of yourself. But peace is not a place, or a thing, or a prize at the end of a difficult journey. It is not waiting for you at the top of a mountain, nor hidden in some mystical creature's feather." Yuto stared at the man, confused. "Then where is it?" The old man looked out at the horizon, his eyes softening. "Peace is here," he said, tapping his chest lightly. "Within you. It always has been. But you've been too busy searching for it elsewhere to notice. You climbed this mountain hoping the phoenix would give you peace. But the truth is, the mountain itself gave you what you needed. The silence, the solitude, the time away from the noise of the world." Yuto was silent for a long time, his heart heavy with the weight of the old man's words. He had been searching for something that was never lost, something that had always been within his grasp.
After a while, he asked softly, "But how do I find it within myself?" The old man smiled again, his eyes twinkling.
By letting go of the idea that you need to find it at all. Stop chasing peace like it's a distant goal. Be present in this moment, right here, right now. Listen to the wind. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Breathe. Peace is not the absence of thoughts or feelings. It is the ability to sit with them, without judgment, without resistance. Yuto felt something shift inside him, a small but profound realization.
The tension in his chest began to ease, and for the first time in a long time, he felt still, truly still. He returned to Master Ryoshi the next day, empty-handed but with a newfound calm in his heart. Ryoshi smiled when he saw Yuto's face.
"Did you find the phoenix feather?" he asked, though his eyes already held the answer.
"No," Yuto replied, bowing deeply.
"But I found something much more important."
Ryoshi nodded, his eyes twinkling. "And now, you understand." From that day on, Yuto no longer searched for peace outside of himself. Instead, he found it in the quiet moments of life, in the stillness of his breath, and in the gentle acceptance of the present moment. And in doing so, he discovered the secret his master had always known, that true peace is not something you find, it's something you carry with you. And so the question remains, are you still searching for peace, or have you realized it's already within you?